and welcome to our video on autobiographical narratives. We're going to go ahead and start with a few quotes here. These quotes really relate to the content for this video. The first one says, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn." And I'm going to show you what that means and how it relates to this week's video here in just a moment. Our second quote is, they may forget what you said, but they will not forget how you made them feel. This very much relates to autobiographical narratives, and we'll demonstrate that in just a moment as well. And then finally, I cannot teach anybody anything, I can only make them think. This is a quote by Socrates. Given that this is an online course, I really can't make you learn anything. I'm just hoping that you will actively engage in the class, think about the content, and make it meaningful to you and your future professional practice. On that note, let's go ahead and talk a little about how this course is set up. It's an online course, so the key question becomes, you're going to be connected or disconnected, given that it's an online course. To help reinforce this idea and see where you want to be, we're going to watch a video clip that I think really is a great example. And in this video clip, as you watch it, I want you to think of one word to describe the teacher in the video and one word to describe the students in the video. And then we'll come back and visit about that here in just a minute. So let me pull up our video clip. And we're going to go ahead and watch. Remember, come up with a word for the teacher and for the students. All right, here we go.
In 1930,
Make that full screen, and okay, let's go.
the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the the Great Depression, passed the the tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which raised tariffs in an effort to collect more revenue for the federal government. Did it work? Anyone know the effects? It did not work, and the United States sank deeper into the Great Depression. Today, we have a similar debate over this. Anyone know what this is, class? Anyone? Anyone seen this before? The Laffer curve. Anyone know what this says? It says that at this point on the revenue curve, you will get exactly the same amount of revenue as at this point. This is very controversial. Does anyone know what Vice President Bush called this in 1980? Anyone? Something DOO economics. Voodoo economics.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video clip. I don't know if you're familiar with this movie, but it's from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. The reason I selected this video clip is because I think it really does demonstrate how you can approach this class, and how I, as your instructor, can approach this class as well. So let's go to those words I asked you to think of. I thought of words as well. Sorry, let me go ahead. The teacher word I came up with was a talking head. In an online course, it's very easy to become a talking head as a professor, and I want to make sure I don't do that. I want to be very contrary and very different from the teacher that we just watched. And for the students, the word I came up with was disengaged. Disengaged because they really obviously didn't care about what's going on, weren't actively involved, weren't really even paying attention. I hope that's the opposite of what happens to you in this course. So we're going to do autobiographical narratives. And you'll learn more about what autobiographical narratives are as you read Chapter 1, Section 1 of your iBook for this week. Remember, you're supposed to have that read by Wednesday. You'll want to read that so you know what to include, particularly when it comes to these 4 dimensions of your own biography: the sociocultural, linguistic, academic, and cognitive. To demonstrate and kind of reinforce the concept of why we're doing autobiographical narratives, I really want to show you this video on the power of relationships for teachers and students. In an online course, I think this is even more critical. So let's watch our video here and give you some ideas why I really want to build in autobiographical narratives. So as it pulls up, be thinking about how you engage in weekly get-to-know-you activities, Why do teachers do that at the beginning of the year, beginning of the semester? Why is that so important?
You had so much to offer yesterday.
And here we go.
I'm tired. So what's going on?
Strong relationships are central to the learning process. What the science of learning and development tells us is that we need to create learning environments which allow for strong long-term relationships for children to become attached to school and to the adults and other children in it. When children have experiences of closeness and consistency and trust, oxytocin is released. Oxytocin has many, many positive effects on the development of the brain. So when we think about a relationship, we're not just talking about being nice to a child. We're talking about a child having an experience of attunement and trust strong enough to release the hormone oxytocin.
Good morning, Ariella. How you doing today? The purpose of the morning greeting is to connect with them and to just make sure that I'm seeing them as humans. Like, I'm making that relationship with them, making that bond.
I prioritize relationship building because getting to know them is the best part of the job.
When I come in the morning, we usually talk about things that are happening in our community.
We're trying to build caring and respect.
The teacher is trying to understand who I am and my values as a person.
When I have a free 45 minutes or an hour, I think to myself, I could sit down and catch up on Grady, or I could go and make connections, whether it's a smile or a joke or a reminder. It validates their presence in the building.
Rock it out in the art room. It starts from so much honesty and transparency with kids. It's really easy to strive to be this like idealized, always ready to go elementary school teacher, and that's not real and that's not human. When people start talking about other things while I'm still giving directions, it feels frustrating for me and I have to take a breath. My students connect most with me when they see that I also struggle and I also have challenges. It takes a lot of vulnerability on my part.
Total familiarity. When that student knows that you care about them, when they know that you're a human, let's think about that. Their academic performance in your classes can be better.
If I'm comfortable around them, then I'm more confident around them, and it's easier to ask questions and things like that.
So when you're looking at this graph, what is it that you think happened?
Some teachers I don't always get along with the best, so then sometimes I'm like, I can't do it, so I'm just not gonna do it. But when I like the teacher, I want to do their work. I'll be like, I can learn this.
You all have done outstanding work.
Emotion and learning are completely connected. If you're in a positive emotional space, if you feel good about yourself, your teacher, that actually opens up the opportunity for more learning.
Good to see.
Okay, I hope you liked that video as well. I think it really emphasizes the power of relationships and the importance of making those connections with our students. So towards that end, I want to show you one way we're going to connect. It's through our autobiographical narratives. And I'm going to demonstrate that by sharing a sample of my autobiographical narratives. You get to know me a little bit better, and then at the end of the week, you'll post your autobiographical narratives and we'll get to know each other. So let's take a look at mine. You will be using Adobe Spark for this assignment. I have included tutorials if you're not familiar with Adobe Spark and the actual assignment itself as well. So here we go. Hello, my name is Dr. Della Perez, and I wanted to start with this picture because it represents one of the most important people in my life, my husband Miguel, and it is a very important picture to me because we've been married for 23 very happy years, and I think it's a great picture to start with so you get to know a little bit about me. This picture represents my family and my background when it comes to language. My parents both spoke Spanish, but they didn't teach their children Spanish because at the time it was thought to be bad to speak two languages. You only had to speak English to be successful in school. Thankfully, I was able to learn Spanish as an adult and in high school, and I'm now able to use it in my college career where I was able to take students abroad to Ecuador, and we used our Spanish to have educational experiences in school. This slide represents my academic background. As you can see, from an early age, education is very important. I graduated from high school with honors, and I continue working at K-State with my doctorate and supporting elementary pre-service teachers and secondary teachers, as well as you in the math program. This picture represents my cognitive background. It's a little bit different in the sense of I've learned to think differently since I'm a cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with breast cancer a few years ago. I had a mastectomy, and thankfully everything is well. I am a survivor, and I have now learned to think differently about life and appreciate everything I have and everyone in it. One of the most important people in my life besides my husband is my daughter, who is a wonderful dancer and swimmer. Alright, so for this final photo, I just wanted to share one of my hobbies is baking. My daughter wanted emoji cookies for one of our parties, so I made her emoji cookies that you see there. And then the other photo is of my daughter and our other 3 children, which is Cookie, our beagle, who is 7 years old. We have Hershey, a labradoodle, who is less than a year, very much a puppy still. And then TJ, our cat, who is a year old. That's me. Okay, I hope you enjoyed seeing my autobiographical narrative. I'm very much looking forward to seeing yours and getting to know you a little bit better. So just some final reminders to wrap up this video. Autobiographical narratives are due Friday. Book Circle sign up is due Wednesday, and the Are You Ready survey is due Wednesday as well. So please make sure to get these in. I look forward to a first great week and getting to know you better. Thanks so much.